Hi, my name is Ronnie Gibbs, and my literature project is on John Steinbeck and how he's one of the United States' greatest writers, but also his impact on California and his close ties. First, he was born on February 27th, 1902, in Salinas, California. He was greatly influenced by the environment around him, specifically the geography, which he later writes significantly about in some of his writings. He attended Stanford University in Palo Alto, and there he struggled to have success as a writer, both during his years at the university and then afterwards. Later, he would have great success. His primary success was during the 1930s, during the Great Depression, and he received praise not just locally but nationwide and worldwide, especially in Europe, where I read in one of my sources that throughout his career, Europeans loved his work, which I thought was particularly interesting. Following his numerous bestsellers, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1962 for his impact in literature and writing. Additionally, he was a correspondent for the San Francisco Chronicle. He wrote a lot about the homelessness in the city, as well as other aspects. And in World War II, he was a war correspondent. One of the common things in Steinbeck's writing is he has universal themes that he always uses. These themes can be the struggles of everyday life. You can see that in Tortilla Flats and Cannery Row. The dangers of wealth and riches in The Pearl, and the grand journeys one goes on in life. You can see that in The Grapes of Wrath. Steinbeck focused on the struggles of everyday people and gave a voice to the poor and the outcast. This can be seen by him talking about, the poor villagers that lived on the coast in the Pearl, or the Okies that were forced to leave their home in Oklahoma and try and make a life for themselves out in California. What Steinbeck was also great at was focusing on the social problems of that time. For example, you could see the Great Depression and how it impacted not only his writing, but also really his life. You could see that the Great Depression kind of is what he focused of Mice and Men on, and kind of showed how tough it was to find a job and then sustain a job for such a long time. He continually focused his stories in California as he utilized the state's history and geography. Cannery Row, he talks about the life of everyday people, the fishermen that live in one of California's most famous coastal cities. Grapes of Wrath, he gives great detail of the journey from Oklahoma to California because of the Dust Bowl, which affected so many and relocated so many families to the Central Valley. And also in that, he does describe the landscape from them traveling through the desert and through the valley and finally reaching, somewhere that they can use their skills. In addition to his writings, Steinbeck does have a museum in his hometown of Salinas. It's dedicated to him and is called the National Steinbeck Museum. It includes exhibits, artifacts, and theaters that play some of his most well-known works. Because in addition to his writing, he had many of his most famous pieces turned into plays and also movies. One thing I actually found was pretty cool. I like James Franco. Apparently James Franco is in Broadway working on being in Of Mice and Men. I thought that was something kind of cool. And another thing I learned from the museum is it's actually considered by many to be one of California's most famous museums. And as anyone who's gone through community college or really any college knows, there's a lot of museums in the Bay Area, and I think this one, if you're interested, would definitely be worth visiting. I know I plan on visiting it sometime soon this summer. I was hoping to actually get to see it this spring, but 3.5 hour drive, kind of difficult, but it would definitely be worth it if you're interested in Steinbeck. But anyways, Steinbeck did pass away in 1968 after influencing so many with his works. He gave honest portrayals of Californians and those inflicted by the social problems during his time. He's one of my favorite authors, and while I knew a lot already, I did find a lot from researching him. So hopefully I can include links to the works cited or the works I used, but also I really recommend that you visit these links if you are interested. Particularly the short video I found on YouTube. It was by bio.com, and it was about 3.5 minutes, but it gave kind of a great little overview of his life and the impact of his life. And thank you.